First of all, good morning, everyone. I'm Christopher D. Greif, the Vice Chair of the DD Council and Correspondent Secretary, you could say for both councils. Deborah.
Good morning. My name is Deborah Greif. I'm the chairperson for the Brooklyn Family Sports Service Advisory Council, the Brooklyn member to the Statewide Advisory Council, and on the Brooklyn DD Council. I'm the recording secretary. And we'd like to introduce Joyce Levin. She is the chairperson. Joyce Levin, are you ready?
Oh, good morning. Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us.
Joyce Levin is the chairperson of the DD Council. Before we start our regular routine meeting, first of all, I want to welcome everyone. Yes, it is a ADA 30 month, but guess what? Before we start the meeting, we like to have a few minutes of silence and Deborah's going to mention, and if Joyce has something to add.
Okay, I'd like first of all, there's two very important people who we lost this weekend, who were because they were the civil rights in the 1960 movement. They're one heroes for us. Representative John Lewis passed away after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. And we also lost C.T. Vivian. You may not realize who he is, but he's the one who mentored Representative John Lewis and Martin Luther King Jr. in the nonviolent protest against the civil rights, about the discrimination of African American, Black, and other people in the South and across the United States. So because of him, he mentored a lot of wonderful advocates that has improved our country. So I'd like first to hold a moment of silence, and we also want to honor anybody who lost, our individuals who passed away from COVID, their family members, staff members, and anyone from the state. We're going to ask for a minute of silence. Thank you.
Thank you. Joyce, you didn't have anything you want to add, did you? Joyce?
I'm sorry, I had muted myself. I had to find the unmute button.
Okay.
No, I just want to echo Deborah's sentiments exactly. It's a very, very sad time in our nation for losing these two people who were such strong advocates. I remember as a child watching some of this on television and being very young and horrified at what was going on. And unfortunately, you know, through the years, things have continued, and hopefully we can all work together and things will get better eventually. But thank you.
Welcome, and I agree with you, Joyce. I used to watch this on TV, and I was horrified. I couldn't understand what was being done. It was very, very sad. Okay.
Before we do that, I'm going to ask now regarding the minutes first.
Before we make a motion, does anyone have any corrections to the minutes?
Just to remind everyone also, because this is part of the minutes are also recorded it's available also on the website, as I said earlier, like 4 times already. The minutes are available, and remind everyone, if you want to make sure your announcements is there, please, you can do it during the chatting times, email it, but please make sure there will be announcement time later on in the meeting. So with that, with adding additions, does anyone have any corrections?
All right, seeing that there are no corrections, I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
The joint minutes.
The joint minutes of the Brooklyn DD Council and the Brooklyn Family Sport Advisory Council. Can I have someone to second it?
And anyone can unmute themselves, please.
Someone can second it?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ann. I apologize. Emma Nino is also a member of the Brooklyn Family Sports Service Advisory Council. She is our executive assistant who helps us with the phones and at the office. Thank you, Ann. Okay. With that, we now have a very special person on the phone with us. He happens to be kind of honored. He is Christopher's and I, our state senator, He's very open-minded and listens and hear what we say. I'd like to introduce
And
and
State
Senator
Senator
Andrew Ganaris. Are you there, Andrew?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Very well. Oh, there you are. You even
Hey.
came on with the picture. Hi.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hi. See, I said your name right.
Yeah, you guys got it. Good morning, everyone.
Hey.
Great to see you all. I hope everyone is safe and healthy and everyone is doing well. I think the last time I saw many of you was probably at the legislative breakfast we had, which feels like 10 years ago, right?
Yes.
Even though it was
Yes.
the end of March. So it's great to see you all. I'm also joined on this call. I don't know if you had a chance to meet her yet. A member of my staff, Sophie. Sophie's here as well.
Yes.
You guys have had a chance to meet her. Great. So she'll be, my representative and my liaison with you all whenever I'm not around.
Thank you.
I'll be very, very brief because I know that you guys have a full agenda, and I really just wanted to say hello because like I said, I wanted to say hi to everyone. Really concerned about some of the stuff we're seeing now coming down the federal budget and the state budget and the city budget because of the impact of COVID on our tax revenues and the potential to lose significant funding for so many of our crucial neighborhood programs. We went through this fight with the city council. They had to close a $9 billion budget deficit. And, if you notice that there's more garbage on the street corners, that's because we had to cut back the number of garbage pickups. I'm more concerned about what's going to happen to the state budget. Right now, the governor is talking about a 20% budget cut across the board to every single program in the state that the state operates or that the state funds and supports. That would be devastating. We already know that the austerity of the last couple of years have really pinched our service providers in a lot of different areas, in a lot of different ways. We simply cannot afford to have additional budget cuts placed on these really important programs. But we're desperate and we're running out of money. So I'm putting all of my energy, and all my colleagues are putting all of our energy into pushing the federal government to enact another round of stimulus support, specifically to help state and local governments avoid these budget cuts, because they would absolutely be devastating. And so if you have the ability to, if you can, either as individuals or as a council, please make sure you're reaching out to your federal representatives and asking for this help, because without it, we might not recognize New York, the New York that we've come to know and love moving forward, because it'll just be absolutely devastating. Another thing that I'm really focusing on as it relates to budget cuts, the MTA's budget cuts, and how that'll affect the capital plan. Those of you that follow my work, that we were able to get 3 new elevators into stations in my district alone last year across the entire system. We were going to invest $50 billion into capital upgrades, elevators, signals, platforms, trains, etc. The MTA is going broke, again, because of COVID. And right now, all new construction and all new investments are on hold. Very concerned about that, very concerned about the impact that would have on our communities, especially outer borough neighborhoods like the ones that I represent, which have fewer accessible stations, less reliable service, older, signaling infrastructure and things like that. So a lot going on. We don't have all the answers yet, but we are working as hard as we can. And, we'll keep pushing, keep fighting as best as possible. I'm going to stick around for a little bit. I'd love to hear what else you guys have on the agenda. And as always, you guys can reach out at any time, either to email me directly at ganardis@nysenate.gov or through Sophie. It's probably faster if you go through Sophie, because sometimes I don't get a chance to catch up on all my messages as much as I'd like.
Wait, and Andrew Ganaris, that's not completely true, because when I've either tweeted you, emailed, or Instagram or Facebook you pretty much answer me, because I know when to get you.
I try, but you know what? Sometimes it comes and goes. So like sometimes you'll catch me and I'll be able to respond. Other times we'll get 1,000 emails in a night, and then someone will email me at 6 o'clock at night, and then at 8 o'clock the next morning saying, how come you didn't respond yet? And I got 1,000 emails over the course of the night. So it really depends.
I have never said that to you, right?
You have not. But you've been lucky. You've caught me at the good times, Deborah.
I'm also very patient. But one important thing I do want you to know before I ask our chairperson of the sister council, is we are celebrating and honoring the 30th anniversary of the American with Disabilities Act. As I remember, before at the 88 because I'm old enough to remember. Plus, I was born of a parent with disabilities. So I seen the changes that are coming, but we have a lot of problems with a lot of people are very ignorant about the American with Disabilities Act, and they're also very ignorant about what people with disabilities need to go and give you one fast example. They think because I have a walker, they always tell me when I try to get on the bus that one, I should go on accessory, whether I have it or not is not their business, and two, they don't understand not every person with disability goes, and it's not like I can get on the bus and pick where I want to go or get car service.
Mhm.
So what I'm asking all you and your fellow legislators too, please update our society, help us update the society because it affects this population very badly. They don't understand what we can do and what we can't do.
Andrew, before I get Joyce, you're with us?
Where are you, Joy?
I'm here, Chris.
Yeah. Joyce, and I just want to make sure because I want to add one thing because this is a combined on both hats. Andrew, the one thing I do want to thank you on my other hats I wear, between on the accessibility to the MTA as well as Transit Riders Council. 18th Avenue is, when I saw the list on the 18th Avenue, I was there at the event at 2 Broadway.
Mhm.
And all I can say is a lovely Hanukkah and Christmas gift that's being happy to be done because 18th Avenue is one of the stations you will see a lot of people getting on and will take some pressure off Bay Parkway, as well as I definitely understand about the signal work because the F line is one of the lines that has to be repaired because there are signal problems even this morning I'm hearing. And the concern is we got to make sure the trains are running at faster and safer, better ways of doing it. But the capital project, as we heard, it's so far they're staying. But I agree with you, we still need to watch what the MTA because we don't want to lose that capital money and all that list for elevators and future newer buses and newer train cars.
Totally.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
And the thing is, between you and I have to say, with you, the council member, and Congressman Max Rose and Yvette Clark, working really hard to make sure of this, and we still need to continue. But Joyce, you have something you want to add?
Oh, yes, I do. Thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us, Andrew. I just want to add that the providers of group homes for people with developmental disabilities, this would absolutely devastate the providers. And honestly, I really don't know what would happen with a 20% cut. As you know or are familiar with, it's been 10 years of no increases for the not-for-profit providers, while the state, who is also a provider, has gotten their 5% increases every year. So you could just imagine our budgets are cut to the bone. And now with this COVID crisis, it makes it 10 times worse. So if we have to look at a 20% cut, a lot of us will be closing our doors. And I honestly don't know what would happen to the people. We serve thousands of people throughout New York State in 24-hour settings who couldn't survive without it. So this is really going to come to a crisis if something like that were to happen.
Joyce, you're a million percent agreed. I know this will be devastating. I'm very, very concerned about what this will mean for group home service providers. And right now we just have both hands tied behind our back. We are also pushing, I should say, many of us are pushing to, if the federal government does not step in to help us out as they should, many of us are pushing to raise taxes on the ultra wealthy, the billionaires who made money off of this pandemic, to help keep some of these essential programs fully funded, because austerity right now would just absolutely devastate every single sector of our state. Not everyone's on board with that message of, taxing the ultra billionaires, but I certainly am. I don't think I have a single billionaire in my district, and if they did, they should pay more to keep programs like yours funded. Simple as that. So I'm going to keep fighting for extra revenue there. But if you remember what I said at the breakfast, I don't know if you were there or not. When it comes
I was there.
When it comes to budget, I gave everyone that civics lesson. And when it comes to budget matters for the state, the state constitution gives the governor extraordinary budget powers. Extraordinary. It's not like what we see at the federal government and what we see under the federal constitution, and that we learn in our third grade civics class about how Congress has the power of the purse. It's just the opposite here in New York. And so it's almost like we're trying to push a giant boulder up a hill when it comes to doing some of this budgetary justice work. But that doesn't mean we're going to stop fighting and stop trying and stop pushing. But I just need everyone to understand how difficult it is sometimes, because the governor controls all of the levers of power when it comes to the state budget. So we're going to do our best, and that's where your voice and your advocacy really helps amplify our work, because the louder we all shout together, the louder and the harder we all push, the more likelihood of success we're going to have.
Carrie's right there.
Thank you very much.
Before I do Carrie, there was a question that was also added. Is Sophia, can you chat on to type in your email address, please? So there.
Yes, I've put it in the chat box.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, because some people have been asking me, like, can't you please asking for her email address?
Absolutely, yes, it's in the chat box, and it's sophie@senatorgunardes.nyc.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you,
Sure.
Sophia.
Also, I hope that Senator Gunaris, this is the last thing I'm saying, because before I let everyone, I hope you're going to help us do massive voter registration, especially for people with disabilities, because many times they're left home and they're left out, and everybody over the 18 and above United States citizen has a right to vote. So if you can also help and ask your fellow state senators, assembly, and your elected officials in the area, we can all work together as a team to sign up as many people registered to vote, because that'll be a big help in November.
Especially, we'll keep up the ballot marker device up.
And please push them to use the ballot marking device, because it's just a big pencil that helps you. Thank you.
Yep, for sure. In fact, let me just, since you mentioned voting, let me just say one last thing. It looks like we are back in legislative session. I'm actually in my Brooklyn office, but I can do it virtually. We're voting today and tomorrow and maybe Thursday on a bunch of bills. One of the bills is going to be automatic voter registration. And this would say that any person who interfaces with a number of state or city agencies would automatically be registered to vote based on the information that they submit, as long as they are eligible. In other words, that they're a citizen, that they're of voting age. You check a box on a form that you'd have to interface with the agency, and you would be automatically registered to vote, which would be a tremendous boost to getting more people registered, number one, but also lower a significant barrier that people face when it comes to exercising their right to vote. Because oftentimes, I know it's happened to me, you fill out the voter registration card, you mail it in, nothing happens. You fill out another one, you mail it in, nothing happens. It gets lost, this and that. This would eliminate a huge hurdle and a huge obstacle and make many more people in our state eligible to participate in our democracy.
Thank you.
Carrie?
That's great. Thank you.
We're going to hi, Carrie Banks.
Hi, thank you. Senator Gunaris, I just wanted to mention, as one of the founding members of the Brooklyn Deedy Council's Children's Services Committee, how devastating these cuts will be on our children, particularly the preschool special education providers. We have seen programs prior to COVID. We were seeing programs close in droves over the last 7 years, and we know there are long waiting lists, that children cannot get their mandated services that we are required to provide them, and a 20% across the board cut, I think, will just devastate our ability to provide any preschool special education services in New York City and across the state. So I know this is a tough year. But I also know that the damage we do now to children will be with us throughout their lives. And that we know from, for example, for Head Start, that every dollar we spend in Head Start saves $10 down the line. And that's even more true for preschool special education programs. So I just needed to get that out there. Thank you for listening.
My mother runs the UPK program in District 20. And I know how devastating a 20% cut to her regular ed program would be. I can only imagine what it would mean to programs like yours. You're absolutely right, and that's why I said we have to do everything we can to fight against these cuts. We need help from Washington. That's our only hope at this point, unless something else happens. We really need that help from DC to help avoid the worst of this.
Does anyone else have any questions for the young and handsome Andrew Gonzalez? And I say that every time. Does anyone from our advisory or Matthew from both councils have any questions for him? And you have a question?
No.
Because you're on mute. You're off mute.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, Senator Ganaris, the other thing is I know that because of a lot of budget cuts, the capital programs can be affected. Also, what I would like to see is if they can, ramps don't cost the same. And we don't have to worry about ramps breaking down. We can do studies to check on that. Also, I agree with Carrie 100% about the early intervention. I was one of the parents that fought to get the early intervention used to be in the family court. Where you say, my son and myself. My son's 37 now. I had to wait for his at the age 3 to put him at the former Coney Island Hospital Child Development Center. I always had to have him in special education. He was just a little too, they said, advanced to be in District 75. But if I didn't get him or get that help just with that Child Development Center, and if I had the early intervention, as far as we've seen Chris go, he could have gone even further, more help. So I have no problem in that we use Chris and others who are in his age group as examples. But we should also use ones that are a little younger than Chris that went through were able to go to early intervention and preschools when they was finally set up. Because when you catch the child when they're very young and you keep them in more in according to Department of Ed, restricted settings, in the long run, and the older they get, they already have that foundation, so they can go into maybe take one class in general ed. I'm saying it like that because you never know. But we need to also educate families how they have to advocate, and it's better to do it earlier than later. Because like Joyce Levin with, I'm going to say heart share. I know met your mother more than one time. In my other hat,
I definitely met your mother.
And when I see parents, they want their kids to be normal. I wanted, of course, my son to be what they say normal, but I knew he needed the help because I was told by a older advocate that when you build a house, you have to build a good foundation. So I made sure to build a good foundation. Thank
100% right, Debbie. Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna check with one person because I don't. Lucy, do you have anything to say to Andrew? Lucy, you're off mute.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Senator Andrew. Thank you so much for your comments, and we're especially happy and grateful that you're working with us and you're supporting us in the effort, regarding the budget cut. Just want to thank you for coming, and that we appreciate all that you're doing.
Thank you. My pleasure. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you. Anybody else wants?
Does anyone else have any questions?
Questions? We have him here.
We have him here.
He doesn't have to be your state senator. He's still he will work and work with your local elected state senator, assembly person.
Joyce, you have anything you want to add?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay.
I don't have a question, but I would.
Matthew, that's really you. I've been looking for you.
Yeah, I had planned to make a number of comments, but in your opening statement, you've really spoken to the main concerns that I have for the people that I support at AHRC, for the people who have already been devastated by COVID and in our residences and other services, and are now facing these pay cuts or these funding cuts. I really appreciate your support and that your ongoing championing of our causes. You've been a great ally, and I just want to express my appreciation for that.
Thank you, Matt.
Yes. Is there anybody else who would like to? You have him here. You want to say something? You have a question to ask him? He's here.
Hold on.
Oh, and by the way, we saw you at the legislative brunch. It was Friday, March 6th. Why do I remember that? Because that was my brother's birthday.
Hold on.
There you go.
Someone's asking me if parents are having.
See it, right?
Okay, this question is not for Andrew. Lucy will be on in a few minutes, but this is more. to contact Brooklyn. Lucy will mention the rest in a few minutes, but I know this is Days,
Let me see.
DASSIE.
Dassy.
Dassy. That question is more for Lucy. We'll make sure we'll put that question for Lucy in a few minutes. But anyone else have any questions for Andrew Garniles? And I have to say, this is the first time I ever see people speechless today.
They're usually not used to having an elected official show up, but you have the new generation.
Oh, wait a second.
Wait, we have one.
Sandy, do you want to say something? Sandy is also our secretary for the the advisory council. Sandy, are you there?
I just want to thank the senator for what he's doing, and I appreciate his concern with his concern about all our concerns.
Thank you, Sandy. I wish I had better news to deliver or better answers for you, but I think we all know what we're up against and what we have to do and what the stakes are if things get worse.
Well, we still thank you. That I'd rather you tell us. I think Joyce and I agree. We rather know the truth so we know what we're up against, and we know the right way to advocate so we can stand together. And we know that developmental disabilities doesn't discriminate, affects everyone.
100%.
I think we have one more person, and she'll be the last one. You have something?
Yes, hi. This is Vera from Tri-County. I'm the regional director at the LIC office in Suffolk.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you, Andrew, for coming. And I guess my question to you, I know with this whole budget cut, do you, I know you get emails, but have you had any like direct in communication in regards to with families and what they're going through? Have you had any, I don't want to say complaints, but are you guys receiving anything from your office in regards to what the parents are going through, especially with the families being at home, the children, individuals being at home, and then the budget cuts coming up? Have you guys had any outpouring of stuff like that?
So we have heard from some parents, and I did a town hall about 2 months ago, and actually Deborah was sending me messages asking specifically that question about what resources can be available for families who are now at home and lack of resources and assistance that way. I haven't gotten a lot, to be very honest and frank with you, but we have gotten a smattering, and for folks that have had specific issues, we've tried to connect them to the right resources. I can share. And maybe Sophie, you can put the flyer in the chat. We are having a town hall tonight called "Parenting in the Age of COVID." We're going to have a number of speakers, including from the DOE, from Include NYC, and from the Seleni Institute, talking about a whole bunch of issues, whether it's education issues, childcare issues, mental health issues, a spectrum. Economic issues, a spectrum of concerns, just to hear from more people, and then think about and talk about some strategies and some ideas and some policy solutions to help address that. So I encourage you all to, if you're able to join us tonight, please do. You can watch it live on my Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Sen, S-E-N, Gonardis. If you want to ask a question, you have to register in advance, and Sophie can put all the information in the chat box for everybody. It's just one other way that we're trying to solicit feedback and concerns from people. But anyone can call our office at any time. Anyone can email me at any time, and anyone can post. I do a Friday open thread where people tell me what's on their mind. We try to get as much feedback and as much info from people across the spectrum on everything.
And also, just to add,
Thank you.
just to add for Tri-County as well, Andrew does let us know, and events like that, we do share it on our Facebook page, and there are times our email address. When you do, Andrew does send us emails, and I do share this out on the email. If you didn't get it, please let us know. It is on our...
I don't think I'm on that email list, so if you can add me.
Yes, and I will do that, and I want to let everyone know to please look at your chats, everyone who was on video. This event is on the link. You just click on it, and thank you, Sophia, for that, because that's a good timing to come in.
Yes, but also, Andrew, can we have a separate one-day town hall, because families with developmental disabilities, we don't have the same issues as families with mental health issues. I'm not saying our children don't have it, because the START program, which has been started, is a big help. But to recognize a child with developmental disabilities is not the same as a child with mental health issues.
Yeah.
And a lot of families don't, and also a lot of professionals. I've had former state senators come up to me and say, I support mental health. And I said, thank you, but what about development? But isn't that it? No. So if
Yeah.
we can do something soon. Also,
I would love to do that.
another
I
thing
would-
I would appreciate. Thank you, Dad, because your father happens to train all community board members on the proper etiquette in meetings.
As well as Robin.
And Robert's was up.
Yep, yep.
Ask Dad if he can also do some kind of training with the families and professionals. Because even though we are very civil with each other, it's nice to update, and also please update us with civic lessons. Why? So we know how to write the letters or call. Even though we know how we feel, we need to be able to communicate. So we'll work with Sophia. Joyce and I will figure out when to start doing these things as soon as possible.
I think that'd be great. I love the idea of doing another forum. And let me just clarify, when I said mental health issues, it's actually for parents and mental, the stresses and the impact on parental mental health that comes from the stress of parenting, especially in tough times and especially when you have difficult circumstances at home. We've partnered with a group called the Seleni Institute, which specializes in maternal mental health issues. That might sound, in one way, that might sound a little sexist, but the reality is women bear the brunt of childhood responsibilities and stresses, especially if they're, at home. It's a big concern for childcare. Their advice and their talk tonight is going to obviously speak to both parents in the household, mothers, fathers, households with two mothers, two fathers, etc. But I think it's important that we acknowledge that mental health impact as well, because that can manifest itself in really negative ways, especially onto kids, and we don't want that. So that's really the focus of tonight's conversation. But we should definitely do another forum, Deborah. I think that'd be really terrific. And Sophie can follow up with you on that, and we can do that as soon as you guys are ready.
Sure.
Yeah,
And thank you. I wish that was around when I gave birth to Chris.
But right now.
But thank you. It's a good
you.
start. Thank
Yes.
you.
Andrew, I know you have to run, and
Yep.
we do have to.
But thank you for staying as long as you did.
But thank you so
Of
much.
course.
I think everyone should thank Andrew Canales. And I think Matthew agreed with me in the bottom under you. You don't have to unmute Matthew. I'm just saying your name. Matthew from HRC, because there's two Matthews. Everyone today, and I know IEC is going to say something. I know that I know OPLD will say, contact your elected officials from state to federal. We know that Clark is doing something with the letter. She's working on it right now with other fellow Congress people. So all I can say is let's just try to keep reminding our officials, which we don't have to worry about Andrew. Thank God. I can sleep now. No, just kidding. Just give everyone a little. The main thing is, you see, I'm smiling, but we don't need to stress us out during the coronavirus. It's just to advocate, stay positive, because you stress yourself, you will cause it again. So, Andrew, I know you have to run, but anything else you want to add?
No, I appreciate chatting with you all. We'll follow up on some of these points. If you're able to join us tonight, please do. It's open to all. And anything you guys need, my office is a phone call or an email away.
Okay.
Be
Thank
safe, everyone. Take care.
you.
Bye.
Take care. Good
Thank
luck.
you very much.
Thank you with all the voting. Good luck. And Sophie, I know you're staying on. I see you.
You're staying
Yes,
on?
hello.
No problem. Okay, now you'll hear more of what we're all going through. Joyce,
Wonderful.
thank you.
Mhm.
Now on the agenda, Joyce,
So, do we have IEC?
anyone from the IEC on?
IEC? Well,
They're busy lobbying for us.
right now, Lucy,
Lucy, we're ready for OPWDD. Are you there?
the young and beautiful Lucy. And I'm gonna
Oh,
unmute.
Messi. Lucy.
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Good morning, Lucy.
Lucy, you're up.
Yeah.
Joyce is here
Good
too.
morning. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, thank you so much for having me this morning. And just to kind of give you guys an update on what OPWDD has done so far in response to our COVID response. I don't know if some of this have already been presented, but I'm just going to give you like a brief overview of some of the things that we put in place and some of the things that's happening. So we eliminated, OPWDD eliminated or modified about 24 specific regulations or rules to afford providers greater flexibility. And some of those modifications included a criminal background check and the use of mobile sites to ensure quick access to fingerprinting for residential providers, and modifications in staff training and oversight that included abbreviated onboard training and the waiving of the renewal of medication administration certification. These were all put in place just to support providers in their effort to get direct care staff. We also established regular channels of communication with our stakeholders to receive feedback and recommendations regarding additional steps that can be taken to mitigate risk during, those really hectic periods that we had. So for several weeks, we had daily meetings, and that platform of communication was expanded to include families, individuals, and self-advocates. And we still continue to meet like once a week. And everyone's been, saying that, this forum has been very helpful. So also recognizing the impact this health emergency has had on provider agencies, OPWDD enhanced fiscal support for residential providers, including expanded role for retainer payments for residential and day programs, as well as enhanced rates for residential programs that provide day services. And also to that end, just to let you guys know that the retainer sunsets today. So today is like the last day that provider agencies may bill for retainer programs. We also altered our regulations to enable school-age children to receive services during the day, as you all know, because typically we don't provide ComHab during the day to school-age children as well as respite. However, during that period, all of those were changed. We authorize day services to be provided in virtually any setting. So it could be done at home, it could be done outside of our day program settings. We expanded the use of telemedicine whenever feasible to maintain the physical and the mental health of the people that we support. We also developed plans for containment, mitigation, data collection and analysis, and distribution of PPE. OPWDD launched a new website that is designed to be easier for individuals and families to navigate. And the site contains an extensive section containing information and resources for families, as well as guidance for providers. Beginning June 19, as you all know that, there was suspension of non-residential programs, as well as visitation and community outings. Those were efforts that were put in place to support, to protect our individuals. However, beginning June 19, family members and others were permitted to begin visiting in OPWDD certified group homes and residential facilities, as well as some voluntary provider agencies with specific protocols and guidance in place to ensure the health and safety of the residents and the individuals. And then June 15, home visits, day programs, and community outings were approved to resume with certain precautions that were put in place. And OPWDD released several guidance regarding all of this, the opening of the day services, as well as we have a frequently asked questions guidance that's all posted on our website, for people that need more information about, the specifics of those guidance and what it entails in terms of, the plans that need to be put in place regarding the reopening. So these are some of the updates that I have for you. Hello, questions?
Oh, sorry, Lucy.
Sorry, Lucy. Does anyone, Joyce, do you have a question? Joyce?
Oh, yes, I'm here. No questions right now. Thank you. Thank you, Lucy.
Okay, Deborah?
You're welcome.
Good morning, Lucy. First of all, I thank you very much for explaining why certain services were allowed to be done and why not. I also appreciate an email you sent that and I appreciate, we did share, you said that when people heard that that the phase 4 was supposed to start, and I know it was in other areas of the state with OPWDD services, I appreciated that you gave an explanation that even though we at that time were going from phase 2 to phase 3, we have to wait for phase 4. And I do appreciate that you sent that email, because I did have, all of a sudden I started getting different social media contacts. No, we can go now. And I just said, no, if you're not sure. I did tell people to email you, because I knew for a fact, well, I understood what you said. We have to wait for phase 4. So I was very appreciative that you did send that email out, because then I got stopped. Everyone started yelling at me about it. So I wanted you to know I appreciated that you gave me the correct answers and information give out. And I appreciate that, because not all the time did I, in the past, before you were there, did I got the right help. So I wanted to acknowledge you in public for the help you gave.
Thank you. Actually, thank you, Deborah. You know what? We appreciate the fact that you guys are on top of the issues and that you send out those information. However, for that particular reopening, it was done in phases. And as you just explained, Region 4, New York City, we just went into our phase 4 this past Monday. Even to that effect, the provider agencies, they have a lot of things that they have to put in place. Even though, what they can go ahead and reopen, but they're supposed to have a safety plan. They have to make arrangements in terms of spacing, staffing, even transportation for the individual. So there's still a lot of things that still need to be, a lot of preparation and behind the scenes that need efforts that need to go into place before some of them can actually reopen. So just to put that out there.
I have, and I'm going to say again, and I'm thanking you again, because when I have gone on to explain to a lot of families or people who don't understand why it's taking long, and I understand the frustrations, and believe me, right now I'm lucky because my son is an adult. But if we had done this when he was little, I would have needed a lot of help, because it's hard. But I appreciate that you gave us answers. Thank you so much.
Lucy, there is a question here. Before I do the next person, there is a question was on our chat that's asking, and I think her name is Dassie, if she's on.
Dassie
has a question. Parents having a hard time getting hold of OPWD to find out where their case is holding. Who can they contact in Brooklyn?
Yes. Actually, as you can imagine, we have, I can't even begin to tell you the volume of calls and messages that we're receiving. And because, most of our staff are working remotely, we're checking the messages regularly. Our staff members that are working from home, they're checking their voicemail. And we have the intake line that we're also checking regularly. So efforts are made to return those calls. However, if there's, I really don't it's easy. If you have a specific contact at the DDRO, it's better to email than to call. But I can tell you that, we check all of the messages that are coming in and we're following up with them. So if you already know your front door facilitator, you can email them directly. But if not, you can still, leave a message for us, and we'll definitely, we're regularly checking those messages and we're returning calls.
The thing is, this parent can't even find out who their coordinator is. We put in the application, and she's trying to find out who the coordinator is.
That's Darcy who just.
So did you already call
that's
our
me.
info line? Did you already call the front door line? Because we check the messages that are left on those front door lines, and we return the call.
She still hasn't gotten any response, from what I understand, and the family's Spanish speaking, so one of our workers is helping her, but they still haven't gotten any answers as to, she wants to know. Months ago, we put in the application for OPWDD, but nobody has been assigned and things like that, so we're still trying to find that out.
All right, can I get your name and
it's Hadassah Rubin.
All right, and your phone number?
My cell is 917-757-4229. Or you could my email at
No, Darcy, please say your number again, but a little slower.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. My personal cell is 917-757-4229, or you could do my email. My work email is hrubin@ucpnyc.org.
Okay, hrubin
@ucpnyc.org.
All right, okay, I got it. I think I got your cell phone number as well as your email. I will definitely call you after this meeting.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Now,
You're welcome.
Now, Ms. Herrera, you have a question as well. Go ahead. I'm going to unmute. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, so I want to say, Lucy, thank you so much for coming, but I just wanted to bring in a couple of concerns that my staff is having with the Brooklyn DDRO. It's a lot of challenges in regards to when they send waiver packages, when they're trying to reach somebody at the front door, and I'm glad that somebody brought this up. It's almost a kind of frustration I'm hearing. It's like nobody ever gets back to them. And then we have parents that are accusing us of not doing our job. And especially in the COVID season, everybody's frustrated, everybody wants something, and we're trying our best to kind of like do their best to connect them to whatever services they can have access to. So I just, I really want to get to the bottom of this in regards, especially when we send out waiver packages or ask for LOC, new LOCs. It's so challenging, even just getting somebody either via email or on the phone just to get back to you and say, hey, I'm working on it, or I got your package, or, something like that. I've been on separate emails where consistently care managers or supervisors are emailing the Brooklyn DDR and nobody is getting back to them in regards to that.
You know what? I am so sorry to hear this because, we do have a couple of, we lost a couple of staff. First of all, our staffing was kind of minimal to begin with. And then during the COVID, we lost like a couple of staff members that were like really in vital positions as secretary for the front door. So we've just been trying to kind of, manage and to make sure that, we follow through with everything that we're supposed to be doing. I know that typically when you submit the waiver package, you're supposed to send an email to let the, I should give you like the front door team leader. Just that I don't want to, because sometimes when you have email coming from like so many different directions, it just gets very overwhelming. But and that's why I really don't want to put the number, the person's email out there. But we've been working very hard with our staff members to make sure that they're checking their mails and they're returning their calls. I kind of want to say that if you send me an email, I can, channel it and direct it to someone who is going to get back to you.
Excuse me, Lucy. This is Chris, and this is for maybe for Herrera as well. Angela, if you're there, can you chime in also?
She just put up very important information.
And put information that you mentioned.
Will help you, Lucy.
As well as, because Lucy's on the phone. But Angela, you there?
I'm here. Okay. I'm clearing the messages, weekly when it is my turn. Half of the time when your care managers call, they just say, my name is so-and-so, call me back. They don't leave a clear information as to why they are calling, if they're calling for EAA tool, if they're calling for waiver. They don't leave clear messages. So all I can do is call back and hope that they respond. 90% of the emails are responded, and 90% of the calls are responded by me when it's my turn. I do that. So you have to have your care managers clearly say why they are calling and a clear number that we can call them back at.
Yeah, thank you, Angela. That's a very good point because, yeah, you're right. Sometimes, the names are not clear. Sometimes the numbers are kind of, cut off and we don't have like the whole return contact number for the person. So when you have this, the person may say, I've been calling, but it just makes it harder for us to be able to return those calls.
Lucy, can I give out the email for them to contact?
Okay, which email is there?
For the EAA, waiver, and front door?
Yeah. I mean, this is just a general line, and sometimes, those lines, those emails funnel to like different people. Because on one of the calls today, I just heard about level of care. I know that Joel is in the office, and he handles like all of the level of care. So I don't want everybody just bombarding, the front door lead with different calls or different emails that may be, that will need to go to some other people. So we're checking those lines, and I'll make, especially after this meeting, I'm gonna go back and make sure that, someone, we have someone that monitors this and that will continue to return those calls appropriately.
Lucy, a question also for Debbie and Chris. Debbie's going first.
Lucy, after this meeting, can we discuss with you the appropriate contacts you would like us to update to have on our website and also our Facebook page, just to make sure it's the BFSSAC, just to make sure we have it right, because I don't want any worker there overwhelmed, because I want the work done correctly so the families eventually will get the services their children need. So can we speak time today? I want to just clarify everything first. I don't like giving out information unless it's correct.
Yeah, all right. We can do that.
Thank you.
Lucy, just to add also, there was a question also saying that voice messages are not going through. Somebody just mentioned that.
What do you mean?
I do know that.
Oh, Angela, it's not yours. It's the other line.
Yeah.
It's not yours,
We
Angela.
actually have, for instance, I know that for some reason the phone lines are kind of, messed up. And for a couple of days now, we've been having challenges even retrieving those calls, the messages that were left. So our IT, they're working on it. Yeah. So this is, this kind of started probably on Friday or Thursday. So we're also having problems with the line. But it's been, they're checking it and they're working on rectifying the issue.
So as I said before, and I'll say this, everyone just got to have a little patience, because it's not easy, because this is not the phone lines, it does get overloaded. And I agree with Angela on this, definitely. As well
I agree with her too.
I think all of us agree that if you're going to leave a voice message, because I'll vouch, because on our line, which is the advisory council, if you're going to speak so fast, I can't understand the phone number. So, that's why on our voice message, we say to you, please leave a clear, slowest message. It's fine to leave in the phone number twice or three times. It's good to have that.
And I also want to explain something. I understand everyone's frustration, they don't get back to you as fast as you would like to. I want everyone to know that when I go to Albany for the statewide, Brooklyn is technically the largest county that has the most service, most people requesting services. We have more need than we have staff. I have advocated very strongly for additional staff to help the Brooklyn DDRO, but right now, due to COVID, we're limited. I understand your frustration, but I do want everyone to do it this way. Say the message slow and clearly so we can help you.
Matthew, you have a question? Matthew from YAI?
Yes, hello everybody. Hello Chris, hello Angela. My question is for people who are submitting their eligibility packet to the front door for eligibility review, will there be a grace period for these evaluation dates? Because, you know, due to COVID, everything is just being delayed. The evaluation process, the review process. So maybe like psychosocials might be 1 or 2 months past an expiration date. Because of COVID, will there be grace periods?
He has a son in there.
If they've already been made eligible, and you need to, if they were provisionally eligible and now their eligibility status needs to be updated. At this time, yes, because of COVID, we're really not doing anything where we do understand that, you know, family members are having a hard time getting evaluations and following up. So we're not canceling provisional eligibility. We're just giving people time until things go back to, you know, our new normal. However, if they're coming to us for the first time, we do require, you know, the appropriate documentation to be submitted. If this is just a follow-up and they're already in the system, they're working with us, yes, there is grace period and there is flexibility.
Okay, but just for clarification, for first-timers, they really are expected to stay within those expiration dates, so to speak, right?
Correct. And if you're talking about psychosocial, the care manager can always, if they already have a care manager, the care manager can update that. We do take life plan, you know, as in lieu of the psychosocial, and anyone can write an update to the psychosocial.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
And I'm just trying to see.
Does anybody else have questions?
Okay. Okay. Then Lucy, want to thank you. And
Angela.
As well as Angela. But Joyce, do you have anything you want to add? Joyce? Joyce, are you there?
Hi, Joyce.
Sorry.
Oh.
Okay.
Joyce.
Just with the mute button.
Yeah. Joyce, do you have anything for Lucy?
No, just to say that, you know, we appreciate all the support provided by OPWDD and certainly locally, the Lucy and her team. It's been great, and we really appreciate it.
And
thank you, Lucy.
Thank you, Joy.
We
appreciate your support and your partnership too.
Thank you.
And the advisory council seconds that too.
Yeah.
And we thank you, and we also thank Angela as our coordinator for assistance too. Thank you both.
Team playing.
We appreciate that.
Right now, Lucy, I'm just gonna, we do have a representative from our elected official here. Her name is Kathy. I know I don't know, is her phone, I don't know which phone number. She can just tell me.
Kathy from
Nicole.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
You want to say?
Sorry, I'm not speaking through the computer. I'm having microphone problems.
Okay.
But
okay, but you're on the
unfortunately, I'm going
phone.
to have to run. But I also said it on a text. My name is Kathy Santapietro. I'm a representative for Assemblywoman Nicole Maliotakis. as I said in the text, unfortunately, she sent her regrets for not being able to be here today. But it's very, very important to her that you know that you have her total support. And she definitely wants to keep a rep at every one of these meetings if she can't attend, to make sure we bring back to her all the issues, concerns, and keep her updated so she can fight for everything that's needed. I put on the text messages her email, and also mine and my phone number. So please reach out to her, and hopefully in the next meeting or two, I'll be able to get her, check her availability and see if she can sit in on the meetings and speak to everyone.
This is Deborah. Thank you so much. Good to hear from you. I'm going to make the point. When I said before that, unfortunately, development disabilities don't recognize Republicans or Democrats, I want, Assemblywoman Nicole Matsakakis happens to be Republican. And the reason I bring that up, in the past when I was trained by a lot of IAC people, sorry, I'm blanking, but they always said that we have to work with both parties who are elected officials. And I want to thank you, because Assemblywoman Nicole Matsakakis, and I thank you too for coming on. It's a very important thing for our families and the professionals and our providers, as well as our DDRO participants, to know that you're online with us. Thank you. Joyce, do you have any questions you want to ask?
Joyce? She's on her own.
I got that mute again. Okay, sorry. No, thank you.
No, but just to let you know, Kathy, Joyce Levin is the chair of the DD Council. Deborah is the chair of the Advisory Council, and I'm just representing Vice Chair of the DD Council and Correspondence Secretary.
And he's handling the computer, so I don't have to do it.
And track of all trades.
Well, I've been trying my best to make every one of your meetings. And,
you have.
Yes, you have.
Your
yes,
voice is being heard. I just don't, unfortunately, she feels terrible, but her schedule sometimes doesn't permit. But she will visit you soon, and she sends her best regards and her support. And please reach out to us with whatever she can do or I can do personally.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy.
And we'll
everybody have a great day.
And we'll also do a town hall with her too.
Okay, and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Do we have any other elected officials
Any other elected official that's on?
Or their staff is online?
Hold on, let me say this. Is any other elected official representative here? Because some of them are on the phone. I'm checking the phone. Who is 347-828-6660? And you're off the mute. So please identify yourself. Hello, 347. Okay, I see.
We understand. By the way, we have anyone from IAC on the line now? If they are, please say hi. Your part. Okay, they must be really upstate lobbying unbelievably.
Or doing something.
Very important. But
1 second.
Wait, somebody's coming through. We'll let you know, Joyce.
Hold on. Oh, no, no, that's not. That's something else. Okay. Since we did have one, we can. Well, let me ask. Is Sophia? Are you there?
You still there, Sophia?
Yes, me. I'm still here.
Yeah, okay. Sophia, you want to add anything else since it's part of the representing of the official time?
Well, as you know, this is my first meeting with you all. I started working with the senator about a month ago, and so I'm really honored to be here and to get to know you all a little bit better. Again, you can feel free to reach out to me at any time to collaborate moving forward with the senator, whether it's town halls, whether it's assistance navigating various agencies, whatever it may be. I left my email address in the chat box, but I can add it one more time just to make sure. We've had some.
That's not a problem. We like that.
Some more messages. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Sophia representing Andrew Granaris, who was here an hour ago?
Yes. Yeah, I can pass anything along as well.
Yeah. Well, if you have a question, let me know later.
Okay, that's not. I did see. Is Gavin Myers online on the phone or video
Hold on.
from the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene?
Gavin?
Are you there?
Gavin from Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. Are you there?
Saw your name.
Or somewhere that name. I'm guessing he forgot today was a meeting again, which.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, then let's move him, and then we'll just move that. Now, it's actually Deborah, and actually it's actually the both chairpersons' reports. Joyce, do you have a chairperson's report for the DD Council?
I'm sorry, I'm back.
It's okay.
Basically, that we're just trying to cope, and everyone's providing services as needed, and we're trying to respond to assist families as needed. And agencies are then now trying to figure out how they're going to reopen. The rug got pulled out from under everybody when we found out last week that the retainer day payments would stop as of today. And that was a CMS issue, not an OPWDD issue, but we didn't have a lot of notice. And the agencies, depending on that, it's really going to be devastating if they don't figure out how to open quickly, as I'm sure everybody is scrambling to do that. But I know we at HeartShare have found that a lot of families don't want to send their children back to day program yet. They want to wait, and we understand that. We'll continue to provide remote services. But I'm sure everybody on this call who's a provider of services is scrambling to figure out how to do things safely, what to do, get the equipment in place, which is very costly, and no discussion or no talk of assisting the agencies in terms of reimbursement, but it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Imagine having to give a mask to everybody every day for, if you have 40 people in a program where maybe you normally had 80, so it's 40 individuals or maybe 30 plus at least 20 staff. So that's 50 masks a day times 5. Just do the numbers. That's just masks. You need this special decals. You need the plexiglass. You need the special cleaning equipment in place, to name a few things. And again, that's all coming at agency expense right now, with no talk or sign of any way to assist agencies other than trying to cut agencies, which again would be very devastating. So we're hoping that at some point the commissioner and the governor will hear what's being said, because right now the agencies don't know what's going to happen in September, October, when some of these cuts are planned to go into place. But again, it would be very devastating. So I know that's kind of a little doom and gloom, but that's the only thing I can say right now is stay tuned, and let's see what happens with the legislature, what happens with the federal government. I know they're meeting now, and their plan is to have another stimulus package, before they leave for their, I guess, August break. So let's hope there's good news there.
Joyce,
Otherwise,
this is Debbie. I prefer that you're telling the truth. I am very glad you're bringing up the expenses, because a lot of times I hear people saying, the agencies and OPW, they're major cash cows. And I look at these people like, I don't think you know what you're talking about, because I've seen more than one agency, yours and a few others. I see them swallowing the cost. I see them trying very hard. And I'm going to say this as more of a parent. It's sad to me, because I'm at the age where I remember this, there was, yeah, I remember OPWD was attached to the Office of Mental Health. We weren't separate. We unfortunately had to go through the Willowbrook, and I don't want to go back to those days ever. And I also want to make sure that agencies are helped with the correct funding. And I also want to figure out how we can get money for just like a stream of like the correct equipment that you get tax money toward it or tax credit. It's very upsetting to hear this because I'm worried for you and the agencies. I really am.
No, it should really upset everybody. I know we at Hartshare took taken salary cuts in order to be able to afford uh, these things and to honestly be in business. But it's just so much how that how far that can go as well. Um, but it's really I've never thought I'd see this in my 40 years doing this that we'd be at a place where we are at right now with a very vulnerable population.
True. And their parents are, because you see, before OPWD started, most people with developmental disabilities did not live to an old age. Most people with developmental disability died pretty young. So now we have this problem. The parents are approaching senior or are senior citizens.
Or not here.
And wait, before I get to that part, many times the parent is a senior citizen and so is their child living at home with them. Also, the group homes, and they're upset that there's problems with that because it's important that we have the smaller group homes because it's easier to monitor and treat people like they're human beings, even though some people may not. And no, I'm not putting our population down. I'm putting down people, and I'm upset with all the miscommunications and act like, oh, why do you get this? Why do you get developmental disabilities is lifelong. It's not something that just happens. So everybody needs to understand our services and our needs for our children with developmental disability is different, and that's the issue. So that's why it does cost us more money. For our example, like a Hartshare, YAI, HRC to care the big, even not the big one, even the small ones that help with other services. People don't realize how important. One family support program that's been a major help to the families is family reimbursement. That's just an example. So Joyce, I know the two of us and everybody, we all have to join forces together. We need to educate why we need, because COVID-19 really decimated a lot of things that this population needed. Am I correct, Joyce?
It did. It did. Across the board, and there doesn't seem to be an end in sight, unfortunately, till a vaccine is gotten. So.
Yeah, and also we need more people to practice correct social distancing, but they also need to wear masks or type of mask that they can handle, or a face shield if possible. But while we're here, though, we will, Joyce, you and I will be as the two councils. We do work together as a team.
Yes.
Because we both, the concerns is I represent the families, your parents and professionals. I also just want to make a quick education update, which is important. You'll be very, and this is so Sophie understands. Outside of New York City, there is no development disability councils.
Right.
The councils was founded by the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. One of our late founder parents was Erin Calpachetti, who was at City Hall blowing whistles and telling the city council, here, I'm leaving you my child, I'm going home. And that really frightened them to start. And these councils were started so that in New York City to help get services for our children with developmental disability and help the families too. Because trust me, the reason why half of us families, and I have no such thing, I act nutty, I'm stressed. It's hard to be a parent. But is one thing, I'm changing something. I just want to tell you that we did have a very successful mini art show.
Well, actually,
I'm going to let Chris say it, but first of all,
because we have someone has a question.
okay, but I just want to say we are celebrating all month to celebrate the ADA, the American with Disabilities Act 30-year anniversary. I see somebody has a question. Who's it?
Well, actually, it's a good news, and I'm going to ask Angela. You want to share this?
Please, thank you.
Fine.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Angela. We hear you now.
All right. Yes. What is it you want me to talk about now, Chris?
You mentioned a question saying all reimbursement agencies.
Right. Reimbursement is normal. It's a new, ladies, hello. Shh. It's a new fiscal year, and they all have funds. The only one that will not be processing is camp applications right now because we have not approved open funding.
Understood. Can Angela, so when we do put them on the website, can we talk later so we make sure we have it correctly on the website about which part of reimbursement is working, which one at the moment has been paused?
Oh, which?
Like you just said that no camp is being
Right.
That's what I want to make sure I write it down correctly. Are you there, Angela?
Angela, you're breaking up.
Are you there?
Did you hear me?
Now we can hear you. You heard what I said, correct?
Something's interfering with the mics. I can't hear.
We're not hearing you, Angela. You're going in and out. Oh boy.
Might be a power surge in the
Okay,
area,
well,
but everyone else can hear me, so I know because I see everyone else is moving, so it's good.
Is there any other?
Okay.
Well, Angela gave the correct update.
Well, as you heard, folks, Angela did say right here on her notes. Very little, Angela. I can't hear you, Angela.
We can't. We're trying. You're coming in and out.
Okay, I know everyone else has. I know some people are writing other things, but as I was reading, I'm gonna read this from Angela. All reimbursement agencies are open and have funding. We have not yet approved the overnight camps. That's what she just said, and says agencies who are filling a way process application, but it may not be lasting fast as before.
Yeah, may not last as much before.
So all I'm gonna say is to everyone, I know Doris and everyone else can announce this after I do my report. So I'm gonna move on from there.
And thank you for
and thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Angela, for emailing that information. Yeah. Joyce, you heard that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I just want everyone to know that the advisory council.
Sorry, Deborah, did you hear me? My computer just shut me down for some crazy reason.
Okay.
No, now I hear you.
Loud and clear.
But did you hear me?
That's no, of course I didn't, because my computer died.
Okay. Oh, I understand.
Green Central. Okay, let me repeat what I said.
Please.
Reimbursement agencies have funding as of July 1st. The only ones that will not be able to be processed right now is overnight camp. Again, we haven't got the okay from Albany to approve those yet, but everything else is just going along as normal. It's going to take a little bit longer to process the applications because, again, everybody's working remotely. Okay.
Thank you, Angela. So please, everyone, you did hear. They are, because they're working remotely, it's not easy. They're working the best they can, and Angela's she has more than one position, and she does oversee the family reimbursement for Brooklyn. And I know she's very good and thorough, and just please be patient and understand. Thank you, Angela. I hope you heard that.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to move on to Now getting into the sad moments, into some good news parts. Let's let's get some ideas and fresh idea. As you know, part of the advisory council, we've been doing a lot of advisory council updates. And yes, we did talk about the budget a couple of weeks ago. We just did, as Deborah mentioned earlier, the art show we did with Moped, which I think some of the agencies who did attend and did some
Sorry
art.
to interrupt, but please, there are people online that may not understand. Moped stands for the
For Mayor
Mayor's
Office with
of
Disability.
Persons with Disability, New York City. Commissioner is Victor Camisi, but we work with his the community outreach person, Jonathan Novak. Go ahead now.
Now, as I'm going to move off the screen and ignore that piece, the Advisory Council's website has been adjusted more because, as you know, we're not in an emergency that much, but we do still have the same information is available on our website, preparing families, and that's including, we will be soon starting up the opening lists for agencies. Again, we are working on, hi Angela, I see you now.
Hi.
Yes, and as I was saying before, part of this month is our website is running, does have updates, does tell you when our next joint meeting is. It does tell you when the DD Council has their meetings and their subcommittees. Regarding updates, we're not going to be doing an update this week, but there is things that I will say will actually keep yourself busy. You didn't have to come see me, but the Advisory Council is also doing another event with the Mayor's Office with Disability, which is Moped, which is called the Outreach One-on-One. We will have mobile speakers. That's why you see much more, because it's will be the 2020 censors, MTA family. One of them is actually here, include Brooklyn Library, which is Carrie Banks, will be joining us, or someone from her staff. And we'll also have much more people and discussing some outreach one-on-one. It doesn't have to be in the DD world, but it could be the outside of the DD world, because there's other things that people with disability should know what's out there in New York City or upstate New York as well, or Long Island. So it will be on Ring Central. We ask everyone to please get on by 9:45 so we can start at 10 a.m. sharp like we did today. This will be on next Tuesday, the 28th. As I said before, anyone is welcome. And then once all those presentation people finishes, which will be questions and answers and comments you want to add, will help you as well. That's one event that we are not just doing, but if anyone wants to find out what Mayor's Office with Disability is doing, you can actually go onto their website, which is www.nyc.gov/site/moped, which is MOPD/events/ADA event page. You can just click on, if you have Google, just type in Mayor's Office with Disability, or the shorter word, MOPD, MOPD. That is one way to do that. And as we're celebrating the 8830, you see all these fancy fireworks and airplanes saying celebrate it. This is an opportunity to celebrate our ADA to people with disability. Doesn't matter, maybe a person doesn't have it, but wants to celebrate it, go ahead. I've seen agencies already celebrating by, doing a little parade in their cars in all parts of Brooklyn, and I hope to see that as well. And I know everyone, we hope to see you all. Please make sure that you do that. And I thank someone who just put it on the chat again. But always make sure you guys are always, let's celebrate it. It's, July 20th, this Sunday is the main day when President Bush, not the son, the father who passed away a year ago, signed it in on 1990. So we're celebrating 30 years of advocacy, ADA, what it looks now, and let's hope to see what's going to go on the next 30 years. So please make sure you visit the website and please check it as well. This also is linked to our website as well on the Advisory Council, so please make sure that you are celebrating. Ooh. Okay. Before we do that, does anyone have any questions for me regarding that? And Joyce, do you have any questions?
No, Chris, thank you. But I did let Deborah know that I need to leave by 11:30. I have to get on another meeting. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, Joyce, at least we're coming up to announcements, and then that's going to be easy for you.
Okay, thank you.
I see we have someone also on the cell phone may have a question.
Hello?
Hello, 347-828-6660. I guess not. Okay. Anyone else has any questions? No, Ian doesn't. Okay. Carrie, you have a question? Okay, thank you for shaking. That's easier to do.
Thank you, Carrie. That makes it easier, see?
Yeah. Okay, so since no one has any questions for me, which I'll say, God bless America, reminding everyone that if you're having a problem with the buses, again, remind you, walkers, wheelchairs, canes, a person with a disability are allowed to attend the front.
And to the front.
Of
and that includes if
hidden
you
disability.
Are
if you
hidden
have
disability, or if you are short stature, you are allowed to get on the front because you can't make it in the back. And if the driver does not honor that, get the bus number and then Chris tell him how to make the complaint.
That's what I was trying to do, is you can go on to my MTA comment, go on to the MTA, but always remember one thing. It's not just put it on the website and put it into the complaint. You need very easy procedures. Number one, the bus stop you're in, the bus vehicle, which the number is everywhere on that bus. It's everywhere in that whole bus. It's a 4-digit bus number. Make sure you have the time, and don't even say anything to the driver if he doesn't open the door. Instead, just say duty noted, because if the driver is going to yell at you, let him yell at you, because that's actually, they get fined for that. Always make sure that you get the number. Once you put it in a short sentence saying, he did not let me on, I'm a person with a disability, doesn't have to be what name of disability it is, it's just a disability on that. So please make sure that as well. As I said before, and I know Matthew had a question for me, yes, the part of the MTA Act Committee, which I'll mention in a few minutes, let me finish this. Part of that, once you put it in, it will be reported, and that driver will be in demand and report back for ADA training on that. So please make sure that you guys are doing that, and make sure that you are, each time you're doing that, keep doing it. You can also email it into accessibility@nycttransit.com. And as I just give you the instructions, you can email it, and they might send you an email back with a reference number.
Yes, they do. I've received 3 of them at least.
I'm already up to at least, I need one more to make 5,000. I'm already up to 4,999. So trust me, drivers don't realize that there's cameras working on those buses, and that's the one thing. And we also got to be clear that if a bus is very dirty, the bus will go out of service. That's ordered by dispatcher. So let's be careful what we're judging for. You want to clean the buses clean, you want to keep the trains clean. Let's make sure. But if you see an elevator that's not clean, put it in as well on my MTA app. Now, adding also to 8830, there is events going on with MTA. I know Matthew just added in the chat saying that they're doing something with the Transit Museum. If you go on to, which is on your chat, if the camera people are on the chat, you can go on to, well, it's accessibility.org. Yeah, thank you. Carrie, I know you have a question. Give me a minute. Actually, Carrie, yours is more announcement, which we'll be doing in just a minute. All these events regarding the accessibility to the MTA is also available on the ADA Mayor's Office of Disabilities website, which they're adding it into the website. But the Transit Museum, if you go onto their website, thetransitmuseum.org, you can actually see that event by video. And it is this Friday from 12 to 1. There are many more of those events coming up, as I said, all the way to the end of July. But you know what? Those events can not just end in July, they can go into the month of August. So before we move on to anything else, does anyone has any questions for the final day so we can start announcements? Before we do, Deborah has an announcement, then it's Carrie.
Okay. First announcement. There is no Brooklyn Family Service Advisory Council meeting, as well as a Brooklyn DD Council meeting in the month of August. Unless some kind of emergency comes up, we will inform you. I just want everyone to know. There's possibility we may not do the advisory council in September. What? We know we do it in September because of the different holidays and also usually when parents are bringing their children into back to school.
If it's possible.
If it's possible. But if there is, also want everybody to know that this Friday from 1 to 2 will be Mayor's Office of Persons with Disabilities, their usual. And they meet every other week now, not every week. Now, I'm turning now, I see the first person is Carrie Banks.
Carrie,
Ready?
you're not. It's not me. It's you. You got it on you.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. Yay! I'm first in line again. That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Actually, you're second because Debbie went first.
Oh, okay. Second. That doesn't count.
We're together.
Doesn't matter.
All right. So I have an answer for MT Sang, who asked.
Matthew.
Okay, good. Matthew, the other Matthew. Well, we are gradually phasing in opening our brick and mortar locations, starting with holds pickups by appointment. We're currently doing that at 12 branches, and then we will continue phasing that in. As we can, we will be expanding our services. So the next step after that would be some very limited browsing. And then we go to limited browsing and computer use, and it just continues to open slowly. We hope to have most of our libraries open by the fall or in the fall, but we're not making any promises. This depends on so many different things that are completely outside our control. How well the opening goes. If there are COVID-19 infections associated with any of our branches, we will be closing them. And rebooting, deep cleaning, rebooting, making sure everyone's safe. We are, of course, staff are filling out questionnaires every day before they go in. We're following social distancing. Staff all have PPE, and the things that you would expect from the library, I hope. So that's really all I can say. We don't have a timeline because I don't think there's a timeline for anything right now. We don't know if the schools are opening. We don't know or how the schools are opening. We don't know if and when there'll be a second wave, et cetera, et cetera. So, but we are hoping and currently on track to have most of our branches open by the fall in a limited way. It will be a long time before we're doing, our sort of large in-person programs and meetings and the kinds of things we used to do. And the people will not be able to book programming for program rooms for a while now.
Thank you, Carrie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for asking. But I have good news about the library too. So yes, we're closed. What?
I want you to have some good news.
Okay, so yes, we're closed, but you can do all kinds of things at our quote closed branches, right? If you have access to computers and the internet, you can do just about anything online that you could do in person. Borrowing books, borrowing movies, attending language learning discussion classes, getting help with your resume, getting help with immigration things. That's all those are all online. We have not yet been able to bring our televisiting programs up where people can visit with their loved ones who are incarcerated. That's less on our part than on the other institutions' parts, but we are working on ways to continue to work with people who are incarcerated in Brooklyn, in Brooklynites who are incarcerated throughout the state. So that's something we're working on, something to watch. And I'm very excited to announce that our Voices of Power group, the self-advocacy group that meets at the library, is going online. We're going to be meeting in August. Hang on a second, I can tell you the exact date because I can't remember all the dates for all the exciting things going on at the library. Yes, August 14th from 11 to 1, Voices of Power is back. And Trina Hazel is back. She will be co-facilitating with Inclusive Services staff, Sammy Stern. So please join us for that. There's information in the chat about how to connect with us. You do have to register, and then you'll get the information for the Zoom meeting. We don't want any Zoom bombs.
You mean hackers?
We don't want to be hacked either, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, check out the chat, and of course, first in the chat, I'll just say, to make it easier for you to find. So we're excited about that. Also, Inclusive Services, our one-to-one Navigating Your Child's Disability program has been ongoing, and the next one is on August 5th. I think this is going to be a really important one. Everybody has questions about schools. Everybody has questions about special education services. You can get answers to those questions. Ruth DeRoma from Include NYC will be calling individuals and talking to them. So you don't actually need internet access to do this. You need to call me. I'll set up the appointment, and Ruth will call you on August 5th between 10 and 1. That's been a really important program and a lifeline, I know, for some parents who do not have access to the internet, reliable access to the internet, who need help with these kinds of things. So do keep that in mind. Again, there's an announcement about that in the chat. I think it's the second chat. No, that's the first chat. Voices of Power is the second chat. And then finally, we have some other exciting things that we're not quite there with, but we are promising gardening with Zadine. Zadine Richardson, who is the program specialist at the Flatlands branch, Inclusive Services. And we don't have a date for that, but let me know if you want to be on our mailing list, and you will definitely hear. We send an email blast once a month with all of our programs coming up. And lastly, we are available for virtual class visits. We've been doing this since May, since early May. We do the similar visits to what we do in person. We go, they can either be live or recorded videos. We go into the online classroom. We talk to the students and, of course, the teachers about library cards and, answer any questions they have, let them know how to get them online. And then we do a little story, right? Because that's what we do. We're librarians. So there's that. And finally, again, for people who don't have access to the internet, we do have a dial-in story and poem, a daily story and poem. So you can just give the library a call at 718-230-2283. And again, that's in the chat. And hear a story or a poem and get a little good news in your day, right? No good news, a little fun in your day. So,
cool, Gary.
Yeah, that's what we've got going on at the library. And, as we move forward, we will, we'll be pushing out more things too from Inclusive Services, but do check out the library's website, www.bklyn.library.org. And for those of you who are Winnie the Pooh fans, that's Brooklyn without Rue.
I knew she was going to
That was cool, but I want to also put out something very important to everybody.
Yes, please.
Actually, we have one, and then Carrie, you have a question from someone.
But first,
okay.
Carrie,
yeah,
saying this, I want everybody, and Sonia, please, we want to make sure that our Brooklyn Public Library, especially the division that Carrie runs, the funding stays with them too.
Yeah.
Because of the help that they give for our families, free help, the things you can do whether online or when we were able to do it in person. So please, everybody, let your city council and everybody know we have to keep their funding too.
Yes, especially I can tell you, that is part of the question, Carrie, because you include library. Now, there is a question. This is from the Bronx. Question from the other end of the B line.
Yeah,
which
hi Bronx people. Hi Bronx.
Yes, well,
hi Bronx.
Bronx was here earlier, but she couldn't stay too long. We know there's one in Brooklyn where do you have a twin for the Bronx or Manhattan or Queens or Staten Island?
Okay. That's a very good question, and the short answer is no. The New York Public Library, as you all know, there are 3 library systems in New York, right? So there's the Brooklyn Public Library System, yay!
Yay!
There is the Queensborough Public Library System, which serves the borough of Queens, and the New York Public Library System, which serves Manhattan, Staten Island, and the Bronx, and at which I worked for 11 years. Just a little bit of interesting history. And they have a different model of serving people with disabilities. Of course, at Brooklyn Public Library, we have a very focused center, and we push it out to the branches, all of our branches. We train the staff and like that. At in New York Public Library, everyone is welcome there, but they do not have someone like me who specifically works with children and teens with disabilities. But of course, they're welcome at all the branches. In the Bronx, you might reach out to the Fordham Library Center. That is the regional center for the Bronx, to find out what's going on. And of course, Manhattan, New York Public Library Manhattan has the Andrew Haskell Library, Braille and Talking Book Library, and that's part of the National Library Service for people with print disabilities. And they have Braille and Talking Books available. It's a separate registration, but it's easy. And they are downloadable, and they are available to anyone with a print disability, including learning disabilities, people who are blind, people who can't hold books, people with low vision, a whole range of issues. So that's the Andrew Haskell Library in Manhattan, one of the branches of the New York Public Library. You can, okay, somebody asked for best contact information. I will put that in chat. It's also, you'll see it higher up in that first announcement that I made before the meeting started. So all of my contact information is there, but I'll put it here too. Okay, any other questions?
No, Carrie, unless something pops up, I'll let you know, but don't leave because you're
I'm not going anywhere.
No, because I'm gonna, if there is a question, I'll let you know.
Okay, great, thank you, Chris.
I'm gonna go and ask Carrie, just give us good information. Sandy, you'll be with me in just a minute because there's other people, hands went up before you. Matthew from YEI, you were also one of them say at your agency, because you have some good news. I'd like to hear some good news.
Yeah, so
who you are.
Say it again?
Repeat who you are.
Oh, yes. My name is Matthew Sang with the Link Department at YEI. I apologize if you hear any outside noise. It's always very full of noise outside my window. YEI's are returning back on a limited basis. I don't have the details how it works. All we're being told is that we are opening back up starting tomorrow on a limited basis. And if anyone has questions, we're directing them to the supervisors and coordinators of that day program. We're also continuing to do COVID testing and antibody testing, so we test the antibodies. We also do the swabs. If anyone's actually a fan of the swabs, we do that too. And, just contact Link for any questions on availabilities. Like, I know we have ComHab. We're taking ComHab services. I'm going to put in the chat the Link number that you should call and the Link email that you should contact for all the updated information. That's about it, really, Chris. Debbie.
That's it, Matthew?
Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah, just make it brief. Call Link. We'll give you more specific information over the phone or email.
Okay. Thank you.
Unfortunately, Matthew, no one has any questions for you at this time. So if they do, I'll let you know. Sophia, if you have a question for them, let me know. Okay. Next person is Doris, then Sandy.
Hello, Doris.
Doris, you're still on mute. I don't speak lips unless you're closer.
You tried.
Hi, everyone. I'll be brief. As Angela mentioned, it's a new fiscal year. And as NYSID, we're family reimbursement. So we are processing camp reimbursement for day camp only. And if you're interested, it's you could email me at dkahn, K-A-H-N, at nysidinc.org, O-R-G. We are also doing virtual evaluations, psychosocial and psychological. And for that, you have to call Liz at 917-699-0578. And we're doing crisis intervention, which is virtual for now. You call Juliet at 917-524-4856. So I hope that this will help a lot of families.
Doris, the one thing I'm just going to ask you, can you please tap it into the chat?
Yes, I had it in the chat, but I made an error in the chat, so I want to correct.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I always say to people, hold on, because they see you go too fast.
Right.
Good to do it early, but always do it again. It doesn't matter how many times you repeat.
Right.
Because you're making it easy for the secretary.
Right. Okay. So
And for our families and people
Yeah.
who want to find it. Thank
Yeah.
you, Doris.
Okay.
Send my regards to everyone at NICET.
And Dolores, later I need to talk to you on a different hat, in a good way.
Yeah, me too.
In a good hat. Let me, Sandy.
Are you there, Sandy Naper?
Because she put her hand up. Sandy.
He's gonna start singing.
I'm here. I'm here.
You see?
Good,
She knows.
see.
Go
Thank
ahead,
you.
Sandy. Then
Okay.
after that would be HRC Matthew. Or let's see if he's there. Go ahead, Sandy. Waiting for you.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
All right. Adapt Community Network. My name is Sandy Naper. I'm a family resource specialist at Adapt Community Network. All our services are up and running. We have openings in community rehabilitation, family reimbursement, home modification, housing advocacy, ISS, and many more. And you can contact us at projectconnect@adaptcommunitynetwork.org, or you can call the Project Connect number at 1-877-827-2666. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
And
It's in the chat. I did that earlier.
I know, but it's always good to do it again to refresh everyone's memory.
Thank you, Sandy.
I love just saying that.
You're welcome.
Let me see. Sonny, are you there? Because I saw you had your hand up earlier.
Yes, I'm here, Chris. Deborah, hi.
Hi. Good to hear
Sandy,
from you.
Sonny, can you please introduce yourself? Because as you know, we have a famous person here.
Who?
Not me.
Yes. Hi, I'm Sunny Chan. I'm from Partners Health Plan. So Partners Health Plan is the first health plan serving the people with intellectual developmental disability. So when we're talking about going to HMO, going to managed care, so Partners Health Plan is one of the options. So we are here to help the family to understand their rights and benefits. What if they are interested into enroll into a managed care plan? So right now we have one program which is for 21 and older, dual eligibility, which means is with Medicaid and Medicare, live in 5 boroughs of New York City or Rockland, Westchester, Nassau, or Suffolk counties, and with OPWDD waiver service, and they are qualified to enroll into our Care Complete FIDA IDD program. So we can explain our program in different languages, and we can explain what will be changing for the family if they enroll into a managed care plan. So feel free to contact me. We have different outreach associates who can speak different languages. And me, myself, I'm bilingual in Chinese, both Cantonese and Mandarin as well. The best time for family to understand is now, because right now we are not in mandatory situation. So we can just try it out, or you can go back to the CCO system. So definitely is a good time to understand. So everybody can reach me at 347-213-8350, or email me at schen@phpcares.org. I will put that information into the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pat Lou.
Hello, Pat. Are you there?
Hello, everyone. This is Pat.
Hi.
Hi. Earlier the phone number was me. I couldn't get on my computer now. Finally.
Oh, so at least that made my number good. Oh, and look at her showing off her beautiful face.
Hi. Good to see. I haven't seen you for a while.
Long time no see. Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Okay, now.
Pat, can you please introduce your agency as well as yourself? Because as you know, we have a representative.
Senator Gunaris.
Okay. Sure. My name is Pat Liu. I am Family Support Coordinator from General Human Outreach. Our agency providing a lot of service, a waiver service, and also a family support service to all borrowers individuals, and including, I mean, majority, because our agency, we are specialized and we have a lot of bilingual staff available. We speak Korean, Chinese, besides other languages. So we are serving a larger population of Chinese-speaking families. So today I want to announce, first of all, I want to UDD for offering that front door session. It actually happened today. It's through the webinar in Chinese. We have about 70 plus family register attending. So this is very good turnout. Yeah, and that's much needed. Thank you, OPWDD again. And for the opening, we have, yes, our service also are up and running as well. We have Day Hub Without Wall. We have job training program. We also have family support service, case management service to help family who are new to the system. And we can help them in many different areas, including get them into the evaluation, eligibility, hopefully get them into also front door, understand the whole system. And of course, Medicaid, that benefit part, that's a big part of that service too. We will help them. And again, our staff speak Korean and Chinese. We have a contract with CDNY, so we help the families to do the CDNY enrollment. Okay, and my name is Pat Liu, and my phone number is 718-307-6563, and we will put the announcement on the chat box too. Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, Pat.
Yes.
I just want our families to know that that your staff speaks. You do have staff that speak Cantonese, Mandarin, what, any other dialect of Chinese?
We have staff speak Fujianese too.
Ooh. Good.
Yeah, Taiwanese and Hakkanese, all the dialect.
Great. I need to.
Chinese, yes, as you know.
Yes, I know. I know. That's why I ask this all the time.
Pat,
Yes.
there was a question for you earlier.
Yes.
Because you were in limbo. So
We understand.
Question is that there was someone who was asking, and this is also Matthew from, well, there's only one Matthew now, for both of you. How are you guys doing?
How are we doing? I mean, we work.
No, not working. I'm talking about there are some of your fan clubs are concerned and worried. They were asking you, how are you both doing? Well, I'll say this. Matthew, I seen Matthew, and he looks fine, like Matthew. But Pat, no one has...
Yeah, thank God our team are doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Yes, we're up and running. Yes, thank you.
Because you know what? I just don't like how people are been antagonizing, and I'm going to say it that way because I don't want to say disrespect. But you know, this is not the time to attack a person, whoever they are. We all are. We have people have disabilities. They all have non-disabilities. We just need to have peace and love, and that's why I always do this.
Yes.
I thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome.
And Pat, happy 8830 to you too.
Okay.
See, I raised it good.
Yes.
Who else has any questions?
Tri-County. I smell a Tri-County moment here.
Are you still with us, dear?
I see we got two Tri-Counties, so I'm going, and I could say Pat was also does partial
Works with Care Design, helping them sign up families to speak up in the Asian language, different Asian languages.
Right.
Pat, I got it right.
Yes.
And dialects.
Yes. Is Tri-County is still with us because I see and I just unmuted.
I'm here, and I believe there's another regional director. Gamo, are you on?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at him.
Demore, say hello.
You're off mute.
Hi, Demore.
I wanted him to speak. I do know Jessica was on the intake, but she had to leave.
Yeah, she told me.
Yeah.
But I believe Gamo, I don't know if he's there. He's also the other regional director for Brooklyn. I have part of some cases in Brooklyn, but he's like one of the main regional directors in Brooklyn. But I just, you know, in general, we're doing really well.
Good.
Our care managers are on top of things. We're reaching out to families, connecting, making sure that, whatever resources are out there in the community, we're connecting our families to it. And just basically, checking on them almost every week. Through the MAS, we are checking on our families to ensure that they have every available help they need in this trying times.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much, because I do appreciate the hard work of the agencies and
Especially the three CCOs.
And the 3 CCOs and PHP. The only thing I ask for, please, the directors or whoever's from the different agencies, please, if you're contacting the Brooklyn DDR or even any part of OPWDD, please speak slower, clearly, and please let them have your name and the phone number they can reach you, or because this is very important. You want to make sure communication is kept open so that you could get the help so the paperwork can be processed.
Yes, and also emailing is one of the keys that I know Angela said earlier.
Yeah, she appreciates that.
Email even Henry or G, because I can tell you I have emailed it a lot of the DDO staff, and I have to say with the families emailing us and going on our website, our numbers on the website is higher than ever we've seen before. So let's all, there are other directions and ways, but if there is a problem, they should also contact us, and we do get back to, because I can vouch, him and Nino, who does check our voice messages every 4 hours. Every 4.
Say hello, Ann.
Ann is right. Hold on. Ann, unmute yourself.
Hello.
Say hello. Now, Ann, now when you check the voice messages, how many times do you check it?
4 or 5 times a day.
There's your answer.
See, so if you need us, you have questions, please call the number 718-642-8512. That's for the advisory council.
Okay.
Thank you.
There are 2 people have questions, but I got to finish the 2 other agencies that didn't do their announcements, because I want to make sure. I think I got everyone, but if I didn't, please say something. Lori has a question. What's the question, please?
About, are they starting on August 1st that now we'd have to pay the fare on the buses? I'm not talking about the select bus. I'm not talking about the trains. I'm only talking about the regular local buses.
I'm going to say to be announced, because as there was a press conference on yesterday, the answer to that question is to be announced. I think it's going to be announced by tomorrow at the board meeting. Once you will hear that, it will be announced. Right now, we're saying August because the buses have to be, the driver's area has to be protected. And second, also, the buses have to be readjusted, because as there are a lot of changes has to be done also with the drivers as well. Because there's been a lot of issues in, this is for Brooklyn, Queens, and Bronx, and definitely Upper Manhattan, having issues with drivers and not following the ADA regulations. So we will be, it will be announced possibly tomorrow or by next week. It's supposed to go into August. So right now, unless you're hearing rumors, the rumors are false. And that's all.
And we will get back to, once we find out the answer, we will also email, text, we'll do it all.
We will let you guys know. Dolores, you had a question, have a general question.
This is a general question, meaning there's no one who spoke about it, but children who have disabilities were issued a food stamp card. And I was asked by a family member, the child who has the disability has a Medicaid waiver, and he received a food stamp card. Now, it's just short term, it's just during this COVID crisis because the children aren't receiving meals at schools. They're at home, they're not in school. The family asked me, the family has income. So was this card issued just for the child? Is it based on their income? Because then the parent doesn't want to use it because the parents are both working.
My suggestion,
Oh, and I'm
call 311.
sorry, hold on a second. Sandy, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I asked Sandy the same question.
Oh, Sandy, hold on one
You
second.
should have waited for my answer.
Oh,
Okay, I'm trying to give everybody the answer.
All right.
All right.
The answer
When a
is-
card,
hold on. Sandy, you talking. Who's going first, Debbie or Sandy? Because it sounds like you're both going to answer the same question.
I will.
I know the answer.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, and then I'll add on.
There's Andy.
Okay.
Andy.
It has nothing to do with what the parents make. The card was issued to children who go to school whose school participates in the National Lunch Program.
Yes.
So every child, no matter whether they get Medicaid or receive any services at all, they are entitled to that $425. So you don't have to worry about what your grandson's parents make as far as what their income is.
Let me state this.
And adding Sandy.
This.
Correct.
A parent, since the child is under 18, has to go with the child to go shopping, if possible, because most children are not capable of going food shopping. The other issue, if you're not sure and you don't want to use the person's name, you can contact 311 or talk to MOPED, Mayor's Office of Persons with Disabilities, or call your local elected official, whether they're city, state,
City,
or
state.
federal.
Not federal.
Excuse me, city, state, and federal. They can check into the program's regulations for you without you getting into the person who you're asking for, get into any issue, and they will let you know the rules and regulations.
Also, just to let you know, as Sandy and Debbie are both correct, that information is also on our website when it's updated every time from the school area part of the website. The Department of Ed has set up because there were issues because of diet instructions also was added into this. And let me remind you, this is not an ordinary food stamps. This is as Chris, oh my God, what's his name again? From IEC.
Chris Trieber said,
This
is not the typical food stamp card. The typical food stamp card for one single person is $194 a month. This is for, because as you said, they participate in their school.
What Sandy said.
What Sandy said, in the National School Food Lunch Program, but it's also breakfast too. So if, say, July and August have 31 days, they calculated that for those, but that's you have to buy food for the child to eat.
And budget it correctly.
And budget it very carefully.
Because there is some people saying you have to, as Chris Trieber said this at a Queens DD Council, and I was there as transit, and I will say that for the record, that I'm there in Queens, I'm only there as Transit Riders Council, Long Island Railroad ADA Task Force, and I was there to announce.
That you have to be very careful what kind of food you buy on there. So let me be perfectly honest.
Healthy.
Do not buy caviar, and don't think I've seen it.
Chips.
Potato chips. If you buy the potato chips, or you're buying the package where it's portioned, and they see that you're going to portion it out, the cereals, the milk, or whatever kind of milk the child may use, or meat, fish, and whatever. Make sure that it is following this. See if they sent you also guidelines on how to use the card. It's very important because, like, when you have a food stamp card and your income is low, you do have the right to buy different foods that's going to keep you healthy. But this is really, you have to be careful. And I would also suggest the parents save the receipts, because you will get questioned. You never know. You're very careful.
Right.
Now, they're not going to say, something. If, say, you bought a month's worth of powdered milk.
That's different.
That's different. If you bought a month's worth of cereals and dried fruit or fresh fruit, vegetables, tuna, meat, canned meat. They do have canned chicken and turkey, as well as beef. You can get those things. So just make sure the parent keeps the receipts and marks down what they're doing.
I hope that answered your question. And
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
And thank you, Sandy.
And Sandy, as we say, Sandy, as a team player, at least we are all in the same book. But regarding that book, I'm going to remind everyone, there was one announcement that didn't make, but it's already on emails as well. If you're trying to call as Lucy said earlier, if you try to call the office lines and voice message doesn't go through, be advised that the system is down. So I said before again, please email them. You know their first and last name, and then it's at opwdd.ny.gov. If you're trying to reach us, you could reach me, but only the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And please,
and that's the same for Deborah Gray.
And some of you have our cell numbers, and it's actually on my cell right now. So until we hear from the tech people saying it's fixed, please experience delays of returning calls even more, and try to use their emails. If you got to email us, remember our website does have a link right to our email. So please get used to our website. We will also let you know if we're doing another art show in the month of August. That's to be announced. And as Deborah said, there is no DD Council in August. Well, technically, you can say this is your February meeting, making up meeting for the DD, but now we're back in normal track. But this is also, they do not meet in August and September. And all I can say is we got to stay cool. Make sure you wash your hands. Oh, and please make sure, folks, wear a mask on the bus and train, because they are going to hunt you guys down.
No, and if they offer you one,
take it. And make sure you get hand sanitizer. If they're giving you out this bottle,
take it.
Take it, enjoy it, and do me a favor. Sniff it a little bit. It smells good, unless you're allergic to citrus. Yeah, see, I got some people smiling. Got to keep the smiling running.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions, comments, anything before we end? You can unmute
Thank you very much. Just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, too. All right. With that, I'm going to have the last word. I want to thank Joyce Levin for participating as the chair of the Brooklyn DD Council and the exec members from that council. I want to thank my council members. And I'll start with Sandy Naper, Lori Rosenfeld, Sharon Shields, Ann Menino, and of course we have to thank Christopher Greif, who has managed the website. And thank you, Christopher, and thank God for me that the brain savvy with computer teachers in your school, because Chris is able to keep us online and having these meetings and updates. So
especially working almost 160 days.
Yes, you've been very wonderful. So with that, I want everyone to please stay cool, comfortable, drink plenty of water, try to stay in because it's super hot out there and not many public bathrooms are open. And please, let's everybody celebrate the American with Disabilities 30th anniversary. So
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and please
have
a great, safe day and enjoy your summer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sophie.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.